Okay, sculptxr version 2. So this is what you should see now. So new layout using HTML rather than canvas tools. And that's, here we are, yeah. So what you can see on the desktop is if I sculpt, you can see that it's now doing sort of a nice mirroring by default if you're on PC VR. So if I now go and turn on the ground plane just so I can sort of orient myself in space. Okay, here we are. So you can see that by default it does this sort of like nice-ish smooth PC VR preview to desktop while I'm looking in the headset. So if I sort of score in some lines just to give myself some waypoints, so nose, eyes, mouth. Now I can turn off the ground plane because it's a bit distracting. So you should see that most of it is kind of as you'd expect. It's just nicer. So you can see up in the corner there, I'm going to point with my PC thing, all these menus up here, and it's all kind of nicely laid out. And if I turn on the full VR mirroring, which I can do from inside VR, so if I go up to the camera icon, go down to desktop canvas spectator mode and go to mirror, now you see exactly what I'm seeing in here. So you can see that it's all the same menus. So the scene, rendering, topology, sculpting, and animation. I had a few requests from people that it's now sort of, it now works much better. So things like you can now tear off, you can pin the menu in the world so you can see my controllers are floating in space, but I can move the sculpt, or I can move the menus. I can move the menus. I can't move the menus. Okay, I'll fix that up. What you can also do, so if I pin it, it goes back to my desktop. That previous menu shouldn't be there. Again, loads of bugs. But I can also now tear off individual panels as well. So I can have that one. Does this move? No. Okay, that's a weird bug. But yeah, so you can have multiple panels laid out in space. You can pop them back into this panel. And you get a separate animation panel that will pop up there. So if I choose to do animation, you can use this as well. Lots of things here were tied up, so this works better. Just generally, it's all kind of tied up. There's a lot of fit and finished up, but no doubt a lot of things that are broken because I just thought I had to get this out at some point. Let's go back to the desktop mirroring mode because it's nicer to look at, I feel, from your perspective. So go to desktop and go to spectator coupled. There we are. So this is nicer to use. The ultimate aim here is that I should be able to sculpt on the desktop and on VR mode, and you can just sort of jump between them. There are a few issues, but it's kind of working. Let's go up to and load up the sculpt that I made earlier. So let's delete this guy and go Files and Browser Saves. So I've now got things. Actually, we'll have to go back to mirroring mode because it's not scaled up properly. Spectator, go to mirroring headset. So I've got this guy that I sculpted in here. It does feel really nice to sculpt, I gotta say. I think of just by accident, the sculpting tools generally feel pretty good and smooth. It does work in native MetaQuest and native Galaxy XR. My next sort of like long-term goal is to get it working with native Vision Pro as well. I'm not sure how to do that because I don't have access to controllers. But ultimately, this should be working more or less as it was before, but just with nicer menus and a few fit and finishings kind of sorted out. Never play. When you find the no doubt many bugs, mention it in the Discord. Cool.